No, no, I'll just ignore it and it'll go away.
Get off! Get off! Get off!
Oh, cool. Ghost hunters.
Oh, what the...
Hello, I'm Paul Gannon. By day, Cheapshow and Barshens man, but by night, I'm a real Ghostbuster.
How did you get in here?
I'm here to capture your ghost.
You're the Ghostbuster? Paul Gannon, also of Digitiser the show.
Yeah? What's wrong with it? It's legit, it's real, this works.
Oh, Paul, I don't have time for this.
You've got a ghost, let me deal with it.
How much is that going to cost?
About £5.
Alright, fine, you go ahead, knock yourself out. Let me just get this stuff off me before someone makes a Brazzers joke.
10. Let me capture one.
Just get rid of them!
Alright, I'm going to do it.
Whoa, this is an incredible scene to see! The ghosts are spraying ectoplasm everywhere. Oh, but Paul Gannon's dodging it, and the ghosts are all being captured in his ghost capture thing. Wow, this is an incredible thing to see. It would certainly require a lot of editing if I were to actually film it.
Right, got them. They're in here.
Yeah, okay, that was pretty impressive.
Well, if you want to, I can teach you the way I was taught ghostbusting.
I suppose we wouldn't have much of a video if I just outright refuse.
Aha.
Oh, that's what the bulge was.
Right, I've got everything we need. It's busting time.
The original licensed Ghostbusters game was eventually published on a number of computers and consoles, but it was released only on home computers at first. Activision were behind the game, designed and headed up by David Crane, and released in 1984. The Commodore 64 version is the root game, if you like, and this game was ported to the other computers, including Atari 800, Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, and MSX.
Ooh, what's this?
It's a voiceover.
Ooh, nice. Professional.
Look, if you're not going to be useful, you can clear off.
I am being useful, I'm ghostbusting.
The Commodore 64 version had maybe 6 weeks to be made. It's not uncommon for licensed games about films to have a very tight deadline.
Can we play the Amstrad CPC version, please? That's the one I had when I was a kid.
What is this stuff?
That is ectoplasm, a residue that ghosts leave behind. It washes out, it's fine.
This Amstrad CPC version appears to have been released in 1985, along with the other home computer versions after the C64 version. So the film had already been out for a little while at this point, but clearly there was still enough of a buzz for professional paranormal investigations and eliminations. What's all this? Startup capital? Profits? All of this money management? This does not feel like a Ghostbusters game at all. I don't like these games where you have to spend money. Seeing large bills just makes me feel really queasy, in gaming and real life.
There's a very good reason for the bizarre emphasis on money management, and that's because the Ghostbusters game was not really originally a Ghostbusters game. It started out as a game called Car Wars, in which players would deck out a car with weapons to fight other cars and manage the money to do so.
Car Wars was in development when Activision got the Ghostbusters licensing, and was already a month down the creation pipeline when creator David Crane was asked to make a Ghostbusters game. It needed to come out the same day as the film would, so Crane set to work making his car game into a Ghostbusters game. So in this first bit where you're putting stuff on the ghost-busting car, I expect next to nothing was changed apart from to add the ghost-busting stuff. And to remove, probably the stabby things that Car Wars would have had. Choose your car and move this tiny, adorable forklift to pick up the things you want to add to your car. It is kind of cute if a little random. Why is this guy with the forklift so tiny? Is there a tiny forklift dude in the film series?
I don't think so. No, there's no tiny forklift dude in that film.
Did you have to check?
No!
Alright, I'm a bit worried this is going to be the best part of the game.
So to start off, you will need the ghost traps and a vacuum for the car.
Let's get this on the road. Wow, this is, How can something look messy and boring at the same time? Messy is usually exciting. I mean, look at me. I'm messy and exciting, right? Paul?
Sorry, was I supposed to say something then?
Forget it.
Look at this! You're the actual Ghostbusters logo, how cool is that?
The game consists of 3 different screens in total, as you will see, but this is the one which will be most ingrained into your eyeballs. These ghosts are heading towards the building in the centre. You can stop them from getting there and filling up the PK meter by buffeting them with your logo.
So we just wait here now until a building flashes, and it could be some time. So if anything, you could give your hair a wash now. Oh no, here we go, we got one, we've got one!
Eventually, when a building flashes, you need to go through this mostly pointless driving scene, which is mercifully short. Occasionally, ghosts will appear on the screen too for your vacuum to suck up.
Oh, look at the little
He's a little fella, isn't he? You don't want to capture him, he's a little fella. Little Jiminy lad. I don't know what that means.
When you get to the building, it's finally time to do some ghost busting. The first Ghostbuster needs to place the trap. The second one will come in and you need to try and catch the single ghost and sort of lead it into the trap. And then press the button again for this utterly mad claw mouth thing to come out of the trap and catch the ghost. Look at this little guy. You have to admit he is adorable. Although I'll be honest, I was expecting there to be more than one ghost haunting this building.
You only need one, just need one. It's very delicate ghost hunting.
To add insult to injury, occasionally you'll rock up to a job to find that the ghost has already cleared off.
It's hard, this game.
I thought you were an expert ghost hunter.
This is old school, not your modern newfangled ghost hunting. I learnt the old-fashioned way, with Amstrad CPC4 technology.
And that's it. That's the game. Wait for the flashing, go to the building, catch the ghost, make the money, do it again and again and again. All the while with the theme tune going round and round your head. Occasionally you'll have to go back to headquarters and empty the traps that are full of ghosts. There's only 3 Ghostbusters though, I thought there were 4.
Yeah, no, the 4th Ghostbuster, Winston, isn't in the games by and large, probably down to the fact that in early advertising it mostly featured just the 3 core members of the cast, which was Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis. Sadly, Ernie Hudson didn't get to feature because he didn't feature in that advertising. So as a result, maybe the developers didn't know there was a 4th Ghostbuster.
I'm not entirely sure how true that theory is, as after much research I found that the actual license only covered the title and the concept, and did not cover using the likeness of the actors. So maybe that's why there's no black dude.
Yeah, it does look a bit racist though.
It does a bit, yeah. Now what you're waiting for, overall, is the final boss, which will turn up eventually. This hideous mash of pixels means that the massive Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from the film is waiting to fight you. Bloody hell, look at the size of him, he's as big as the building itself! What the hell are these ghosts doing to him? Should I be censoring that?
This is going to be an epic battle. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready!
Let's go defeat the building-sized monster!
This is it? This is the final boss? Are you joking?
Psych! It's actually incredibly disappointing, and the Marshmallow Man is about 10 foot tall.
What a bizarre ending to the game. After all that running around beating ghosts and trying to raise money, I was expecting something a little more, I don't know, climatic? I mean, really, if you could be bothered, you could just wait around for the PKE meter to go up, and then just go and jump between this lad's legs without catching any ghosts at all.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have a high score.
But I don't want to jump through a random guy's legs.
Isn't that usually how you score, though?
What's that supposed to mean?
It was a joke.
No, what was that supposed to mean?
Look, I just meant to imply that,
really?
You're going for a
Is
leg,
that
jumping in a
actually
man,
what you
alright,
mean?
okay.
It was
it's
totally a
not very...
sexist remark.
No, I know it wasn't.
It was an
okay, it's
Octavius
meant to be
remark.
funny.
Oi, Octavius, Gannon, stop messing about. Digitiser launches on November the 11th and I need all hands on deck. Got it?
And what about the Temple of Zool? Isn't that still a thing? All we did was just go through a bloke's legs. Well, we are playing the standard Amstrad CPC version. While of course it is very, very similar to the original C64 version, it does lack a few things, but the most prominent difference is that there's no proper ending sequence. On the C64 version, you'll need to jump through Milado's legs 3 times again, but once you've done that, you get an actual ending of the Ghostbusters closing the portal door. You could get this full ending on the Amstrad version, but only if you had the special disc version, which came separately, or in the disc version of They Sold a Million compilation, both of which appear to be quite uncommon now. My god, all this money management and repetitive back and forth gameplay, this must have bored you to death when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's a marvel I've reached the age that I have.
Right, so is that all I need to know to get rid of these ghosts?
Pretty much.
Right, give me
No, it's a little bit more finesse than that. You.
Ghostbusters!
So, how did it go?
How are they able to produce so much slime?
Well, if you've been dead for hundreds of years and you've got a bit of a backlog, you might be a bit of a gusher. So I can only imagine they just really like you.
You're disgusting.
How about we scrap the Amstrad and we move on to the bit more friendly NES version?
The home computer versions did perfectly well for sales. We didn't get any home console versions of this game until a couple of years later. The Ghostbusters game was released with some alterations across a number of home consoles. Again, they are all very similar across each platform, but the one you've probably heard of is the NES version. This was released 4 years after the Commodore 64 version in 1998 in America and Europe, although it was released in 1986 in Japan. It was not coded by the original Activision team, this time made by Japanese devs, Tokuma Shoten Publishing. Probably pronounced that wrong.
Unlike the Amstrad and the home computer versions of Ghostbusters, this one is heavily reliant on driving your car.
Oh, good.
So first up, as in the original game, you need to trick out your car, but you'll need to go to the shop first, which means you need to drive to it. Straight away you are treated to the screen of the game with which you are about to become most acquainted. This grayscale nightmare will be imprinted on the inside of your eyelids for the next couple of hours. Every time you need to get somewhere, as in the original, you will need to drive there, but this time you have fuel reserves to look out for. If you run out of fuel, you're screwed. You'll be taken back to the city screen, and you'll have to drive to wherever it was you were going again.
But you know what's really good about ghost hunting? Driving cars to destinations with enough petrol to get you there.
Here's the mileage indicator. I'm assuming this is meters rather than miles, because if not, then this city is huge. This goes up depending on how much faffing around you did previously on the main city screen. So annoyingly, if you choose to go to a building right next to the last one you were at, but you were going around chasing the ghosts, then you're gonna have a hefty amount of distance to cover. We haven't even got to the shop yet. This is awful, I keep running out of fuel.
Well, that's because you're not picking up barrels. You have to drive into them to get more fuel.
That makes zero sense. Who is dumping barrels of fuel on the road for a start? And why is there...
Oh God, don't start ranting again. We're going to be here forever.
Alright, so finally, we're at the shop. Get your traps and all that gubbins, and it's time to go and do some ghost busting. And now we wait. You can buffet the approaching ghosts again and stop them if you want to, but bear in mind that you will be increasing the distance you need to travel to your ghost busting spot considerably, so probably better just to leave them to it.
So that's why most of this game is you driving to the gas station, or driving to a haunted venue and then running out of gas and then going to a gas station. Therefore you can't get to the ghost hunting place on time. Therefore you've got to wait again, and then you've got to go for the driving sections again, dodging cars that drive like maniacs.
Again, we're waiting for one of the buildings to flash, and again, it can take anything from a couple of seconds to a couple of years for one to start.
There's one, quick, get it. Oh, give me the controller, quick.
This driving screen is just the worst. You'll notice that for some reason the Ghostbusters are driving the wrong way up a 4-lane highway, and the other cars sharing the road with them will 100% attempt to smash into the Ghostbusters car. And every time they do, you'll lose some money.
Don't want to be there, hitching your leg up like I had to, earning pennies to get a couple of quid.
I don't want to know.
There are very few barrels that will appear. Many times not a single barrel will appear in an entire journey. And if you start out the journey with low fuel, then 9 times out of 10, you're screwed.
But anyway, when you get there though, it's worth it. Because then you get to play what is basically a minigame that lasts 3 seconds and you're driving again. Yay! Ghostbusters games!
There is a petrol station on the main city screen, but guess what? If you want to go there to fill up your tank, you're gonna need to drive there. So to be honest, you're pretty much screwed either way. Finally, here we are. It's nice that instead of just one ghost, there is 3 that you can catch this time. Ugh, I can't reach the ones on the top of the screen.
Because you need to buy a better stream.
If you want to be able to catch the ghosts easier by having a better gun that will reach higher, you're going to need to save up a lot of money to do so. A lot. I really wasn't joking about this game being a game where you hemorrhage money. Get hit by cars, lose money. Miss the ghosts, lose money. And look at how expensive all this stuff is. I can't cope with this. Large bills make me physically vomit.
Really?
Yeah, every time I get my council tax bill, the house is coated in sick.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You think I'm joking? Eventually, when the PK energy meter at the bottom of the screen is high enough, the Temple of Zool will again open. No jumping through a big lad's legs this time, you've got something much worse.
Now's the big battle, right? And you know what the big battle involves?
What?
Going up the stairs.
And getting up the staircase should be an easy enough task if it weren't for the controls. To walk, you don't press the D-pad, you press the A button, quickly.
And every time you tap it, like track and field, you move your 3 Ghostbusters up the stairs.
Meanwhile, these ghosts are on your arse. Get hit 3 times and you're done. It is incredibly hard to avoid them. If you somehow managed to raise millions of dollars while catching ghosts earlier, then you could have bought a ghost protector suit, which would give you maybe 2 more hits against these translucent pillars. But that counts for nothing when you see how many floors there are.
Why did this building not just have a lift?
Look, you're nearly there, alright?
Oh god, there's so many floors!
I really did feel like I had repetitive strain injury after trying to mash my way through this stairwell. But confession, I had to get ZombiWorkshop to capture this footage for me, and he had to use a cheat to get past these ghosts, because honestly, otherwise, it's impossible, and I wanted to show you just how many floors there are of this. And here's the final screen. After that nightmare of a stairway, this is a doddle. Just kill her.
Shoot at the woman in the middle,
Right.
dodge all the little fireballs.
I am.
Then keep shooting then.
I am!
And then do this for another 5 minutes or so. See how much fun ghost hunting is?
So this lass is Zool, then?
No, that's Well, no, the building isn't called Zool. It shouldn't really be called Gozer. There's Gozer. You know what? I could explain it at this point, but I really can't be bothered.
I am so glad you said that.
Brilliant. You beat the game.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Now, why is this such a pathetically poor ending? Well, the general consensus is that it's just a poor translation from Japanese to English. However, the original Famicom version has an entirely different ending, a black screen. So I suppose in a way we got the better ending? Incidentally, if you want the full story regarding the translation of the ending, check out legendsoflocalization.com, article linked in the description. Long story short, it is indeed a bad translation, but it is kind of hilarious in a sort of incredibly depressing way. In a very, I just went through more than 2 hours of utter bullshit, catching ghosts and running over barrels, pushing a car up a freeway and driving hundreds of miles just to go around the corner, trying to manage money, constantly losing it just for slightly brushing cars that are driving towards me, climbing up 20 bullshit levels of bullshit stairs with bullshit button tapping bullshit that was hard as all bullshit to fight a boss with the wrong bullshit name, and now I am very f***ing angry. Way.
That's everything you need to know about Ghostbusters in a nutshell.
Right, let's kill some ghosts. Kill ghosts?
I mean,
they're already dead.
they're already dead. You can capture ghosts.
Alright, let's just go and
Let's
do
go
that
capture
then.
ghosts.
And I'm only slightly covered in questionable substances.
So they're all in there then, yeah?
Yeah!
Excellent. Oh, I'll take that from you. Good, so your house is now free of all supernatural entities. Great, see? A little bit of education on the NES, on the Amstrad. I'm going to go, but I will bill you when I get home.
There's a bill. I just caught all of those ghosts.
The way I'm looking at it is with equipment rental, tuition, and keeping them secure in the ecto containment unit. I reckon it will come to about £7,525, including mates rates.